Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so our product is a working title called Inspire Me. It's basically a product, a sort of service, digital service that allows people to see their different interests based on their shopping. That was a rubbish start, so I'll try and do that again. Where are we? There we go. Okay, so we went out this morning after doing a quick brainstorming session and we came up with some different ideas of potential audiences that we'd like to target. We thought initially that that would be people who might be buying for first dates, but instead it turned out people generally tend to buy new clothes for special occasions. We mapped the journey, we found out that they have an initial desire, they've got an idea what they want, they move on from that to a finding process, and then they make a purchase. So our service aims to make that easier, quicker, helps women particularly, there's a target audience, to have engaging user experiences so that as they're going along the purchase journey, they're involved and they basically push content that they like. They make the machine learn, as you'll hear in a second. And yeah, that's that. So yeah.
If you just open that first slide again, that you skipped that one. So the idea of the the other one before. So the idea is there's multiple uses for this application. It can be its own application that's hosted on our own site and our own brand. It can also, and in that case, it will aggregate all the clothing items and brands from all the various shops and outlets, or it can be branded as an engine and a platform and used in a specific shop on their site, on their portal, and we can provide a platform and an engine and an API. And the journey I'm going to talk about is the red one there, which is when it's branded for a specific an online store. So the idea of our application is our user Maggie is going to a wedding. She has an idea in her head of the dress that she's after for it. She has an idea of the event, and when she sees it, she'll know it, which we did pinch. We did pinch from the other group. So, and our app is going to help her to see it. So she opens the ASOS Inspire Me application on her iPad, and she's presented first of all with various types of events, and she chooses wedding. She's then presented with 9 photos of outfits that come under that category for that kind of events. And all she has to do is like 2 or 3 of them and say which of them she doesn't like. And then we have an algorithm internally that will automatically generate the next items. And she carries on, and it gets closer and closer and smarter all the time. And it takes her choices and it draws on the choices of users who have also liked the kind of outfits that she's also liked for these kinds of events, until she gets to the point where she says, so that's the dress I like. And then it puts that in the corner of the screen and it carries on and it helps her to find the accessories that go with that dress using the same process. And the idea was that if they have the idea of the dress and they take it out to the shops, there's only a finite amount of stores and items that they can see. The idea of our application is it can very, very quickly present hundreds of very targeted, smarter and smarter options for her. And so she's actually drawing down nodes of options and getting more and more precise. And she's actually included in a search a whole load of thousands and thousands of options, but she's only gone through 10 screens. And it's automatically very, very quick. 10, those 2 I like, those 2 I don't. Screen, those 2 I like, those 3 I don't. Next, 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 until it shows her the dress she likes.
Okay, so yeah, this is the end-to-end sort of what it does. It learns the taste, strengthens the algorithm, suggests then back the sorts of things that you know to like, and then it helps you choose. We did sort of talk about how we can plug in with social, so your friends might have suggestions in there. Yeah, that's all right.
Thank
Questions?
So we have a journey, like I can like few dresses. So at the end of this journey, do we have a like final like button? How do we know that my journey stops here? That this is what I want?
At any point, if anything comes up that's the chosen dress, I can say that's the dress, and I can tap on it, and I get the options around it if I tap on it. So that's an option.
And where do I stop? So
it just carries on and on until you find it. Just carries on. It gets
so it's
more
like
and more.
a like or a choose, or
yes, yeah. So there's a choose as if you press on it, and then the options come around that. So I can either press on the thumbs and then choose the items. I can press like thumb and then those 2 items, and then that thumb and then those 3 items. Or I can press on the card and there's options come around that card. That was the idea.
If you were to continue working on this, what would you do next? What do you need to learn next, you think?
Accessories.
I think we didn't work particularly efficiently today. We spent a lot of time after the research phase. That sort of knocked us for 6, so we had to try and plot out an idea that we could use. We spent far too long not really prioritising what it was we were going to do. So then by the time we'd made a decision on what it was we wanted to develop, we were really trying to cram, and then it became a bit of a blur as to what we were trying to deliver first of all, but also the nature of the product. So we did talk a lot about social, but then none of that's made it into this presentation. We had some quite interesting ideas on how that would integrate with Facebook, for example. So I think prioritising and managing our workload is probably the main thing.
I think in terms of taking it forwards, I would like to look at how you could integrate it into catalogues of shops, and how you could provide a service to them, and how they can mark up their items and provide metadata that could also inform the selection process.
Yeah, we talked
so
about
who would you talk to next then?
Talk to ASOS, or I don't know many brands in women's clothes. I know I know a shop that sells check shirts.
Would you talk to a business first, or would you try to understand this with customers?
I'd iterate again, I think, because we failed on the first idea after iterating. So I think we test this to see if there is the sort of potential market. We did like to sketch personas to try and understand deeply the motivations behind why they might use it. So like we imagined there would be a lady, Maggie we called her, we wrote out a story down here, and she'd be like sat there sort of 5-10 minutes on the sofa, or she'd be in the office at work, she knows she's got something coming up, she's got that idea, she's in that finding stage. So this would be like an immersive sort of clever, smart, clean, efficient sort of app that just lets her buy, and enjoyable, integrates with her social networks. That's sort of feeling. So then if we got something closer to that design, we could then see if that proposition is something that users would actually want.
So the 3x3 grid and the 2 likes and 3 dislikes, is that right?
It's up to you.
Okay, but
choose any number.
That interface was sort of very specific idea, and seems quite unique. I'm wondering how did you come up with that?
Made it up.
That easy.
I wouldn't say it was easy. I wouldn't say anything was easy for us today. But that bit was, yeah.
What was the conversation you were having when you made that?
I play that game with my girlfriend. So when I'm rubbish at picking tastes for girls and what they like. So we play a game. If there's like an article in the paper with shoes, I try and tell her her favourite on the page, and I can get closer and closer. So it sort of came from that idea, because I used to go up to like a table of jewellery, and you just see like colours and things, and you can't tell them apart. I can't tell them apart very well. So it came out of honing that process and helping you, and using crowdsourcing to inform that process and algorithms and analytics.
Cool.